It was 2004.
Okay.
At least when I officially started playing. Both of my parents are former band directors.
Hmm.
My dad did middle school, my mom did high school for a long time, and so there were always instruments in the house. So I was always messing around with the trombone that they
Hmm.
had. It was an old Bundy, terrible instrument, but I would walk around the house just incessantly, and but I had no idea what I was doing. I was just making sound because I thought it was cool. Yeah, 2004 would have been about when I actually started learning.
What was the music that you were listening to back then that inspired you to stick with the trombone? Was it a specific recording or a specific style of music?
Philip Jones Brass, greatest hits. The Canadian Brass. I can't remember which record it was. It was like one of the early ones. I mean, Detroit Symphony recordings. So lots of classical music, lots of brass chamber music. The old school, Philly, Chicago, Cleveland brass section records. My mom had those on vinyl, and those were just always on.
If when you got a little bit more involved with practicing and playing, do you feel like you understood everything that was out there about music back then, or I guess the styles you could play, or what was like that first moment where you're like, wow, that sounds new, and like you kind of like opened up into a new style of playing, or your mind got stretched a little bit once you got into learning?
I think once I heard it live, like putting the visual with it, seeing people play, not just listening to recordings. Because I mean, I remember, my parents playing the old Philip Jones Brass greatest hits record when I was like, I don't remember it, but it's on video. I was like 2, and they were playing these incredible brass chamber music. But the first time I went to see the Detroit Symphony, this would have been 2002. Because my older brother had just started playing horn in 6th grade, and Carl Pittick, principal horn at Detroit, was playing a Mozart concerto with the orchestra, and so my parents wanted to bring him to see the concert, and I was just the tag along. Turns out that the last piece on the program was Pines of Rome, and the guy who would end up being my private teacher for 6th grade through 12th grade was playing one of the offstage parts. So that was the first, like, and I remember the last 2 notes of the last movement of Pines, 2 fat low Fs from the bass trombone, and Randy Hawes just like blew my head off. It was incredible. I told him that in a lesson I had with him a while ago, and he of course he laughed. But I think the first time I actually saw people doing what I was hearing, it connected the dots, and it just became this super, super cool thing